Done too. Pretty good. Okay, I just got it. This is watch this. Thank you. Get that for me. Daddy's leg is no more. So I'm going to read this little story about a guy that I met when he was in high school. Rave on, Gord Downey. Gord was just a kid. Hell, we were all just kids in 1984. I first met him when I answered a knock at my hotel room door at the Prince George in Kingston. There he was, standing out there with a couple of his high school buddies. It was the middle of the afternoon. We were in there drinking beer, playing cards. That knock came to the door, and standing out there were these really fresh-faced kids shuffling from one foot to the other. They told me they were fans of my band, the Florida Razors, and they snuck in to see us at dollar bills, and they even bought our record at the record store. And they also told me that they were in a band too. I said, oh yeah. What's the name of your band? One of them said, the Tragically Hip. So that is a great name, man. I might have kept them out in the hallway because there was a card game going on and there was a lot of money on the table and some local colors hanging around. So privacy was of the utmost importance. So we talked through a crack in the doorway about music. They told me that they played early Rolling Stones and did a few Monkees covers. So I asked them if they wanted to come down to the bar that night and maybe do a set before us. They said, we've never played in a bar before. And I said, well, do you want to do like half an hour or 45 minutes? And do you guys actually know enough songs to be able to do a set like that? He said, yeah, sure. I closed the door, went back to the game. I didn't think anything of it. That night, they all showed up, some of them younger than the ones that came to my hotel room door earlier that day, and we brought them downstairs into this damp basement we were using as a dressing room, and we gave them a couple beers, and we smoked a joint with them and kept them out of sight because they were way underage, and they all looked like Boy Scouts, except for one looked like a girl guy. We let them use our amps and our drums and basically kept an eye out for them. 9 p.m. comes. They all get up on stage and start playing this really ancient British R&B. Songs that I'd never heard in the post-punk Canadian music scene, and they played them all with some kind of awkward precision, like they had actually rehearsed. We never rehearsed, we just snorted speed, really. I can't remember all the songs they did, but they did a version of Baby Please Don't Go by Van Morrison and them, and they did Off the Hook by the Rolling Stones. I mean, who does Off the Hook by the Rolling Stones? Nobody around the Hammer, and nobody that I knew of, and it was all really fresh. It wasn't old geezer style rock and roll because these were basically children with guitars playing ancient R&B. And the singer was another story. He wasn't like the gob-soaked, foul-mouthed street corner knuckleheads ran into trying to prove something. He was much more exotic, kind of rare, not your average cock-swinging punk frontman, and he really loved singing those songs, man, and I thought he was brave to stand up there in front of a room full of boozy Princess Street rounders and allow himself to be fully exposed the way he did. He didn't hide behind ego the way so many of us did. And as Alex the Large from A Clockwork Orange would have said, it was like a great bird had flown into the room. I think maybe he was just innocent. He was innocent then, and somehow, to my eyes, he managed to stay that way, because when I think of Gord Downey in 1984 on that shitty little stage on the Toucan in Kingston, and I think of him, well, about 15 years ago, standing on stage with me at the Interstellar Rodeo in Edmonton, I know that I'm looking at the same guy. A lot of us try to cover up what we are, but Gord acted out what he was for all of us to see. His cells didn't change, and his innocence stayed intact, despite the 33 years between those two performances, and his bravery still today raves on. I remember him a bit like Mick Jagger from the Tammy Show back then, but he ended up being something that none of us had ever seen before. He was all his own creation. It was compelling, and it was honest. It was like a live wire that burned a hole into our imaginations. and voiced what would be the soundtrack to generations of Canadians, all Canadians, who partied in kitchens and in parking lots before hockey games. Songs blasted out of car windows and DJ booths everywhere. Who won the Grey Cup in 1999? I couldn't tell you, but if I was to give you a real answer, I'd say it's probably Gord Downey and the Tragically Hip. September 17, for a girl I know it's Mother's Day. Her son is gone to leave, and that's where he will stay. Wind on the weather vane, clear and blue eyes sail me, as Falstaff sings a soulful refrain for a boy in Fiddler's Green. His tiny knotted heart, well, I guess it never worked so good. The timber tore apart, and the water gorged the wood. You can hear her whispered prayer for men at mass that's always lean. The same wind in the hair for a boy in Fiddler's Green. No, nothing changed anyway. No, nothing's changed anyway, or any time of day. Yeah, yeah. Doesn't know a soul, and there's nowhere that he's really been, but he won't travel long alone. No, not in Fiddler's Green. Balloons are filled with rain as children's eyes turn sleepy mean, and Falstaff sings a soulful refrain for a boy in Fiddler's Green. For a boy in Fiddler's Green. For a boy in Fiddler's Green. Yeah, 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 yeah. For a boy Fiddler's Green.